Yo guys, what is up? It's a very sad situation we're living these days, and I'm in mourning for one and only one reason. Friday 13th, the game servers are closing! Now it's said, I can see you are also crying. No worries, guys, we'll quickly recover from that. I am sad, really sad, and I will explain to you why. I read recently that Friday 13th, the game, has officially shut down its official servers. Even if the game is still playable, and excellent and so great to play, honestly, it means that the only way to play the multiplayer part of this game is through the peer-to-peer mode with the potential degradation of your player experience. So what's going on? It's the question I wonder, and I'm pretty sure you are wondering right now. What led to this situation? Why did the game not receive any major updates and new feature since its release? Why are the official servers shut down this way, letting players in a situation where they have to choose other slasher-like games? We'll try to answer all these questions together and discover what happened. Once upon a time, there was a movie named Friday the 13th, where people were having a lot of fun in a wonderful camp, the Camp Crystal Lake. They were playing together, singing together, running together, and enjoying the simple things of life. This movie, Friday the 13th, originally released in 1980, owes to a special kind of movie called slasher. In the slasher, you've got a killer that generally kills for reasons linked to a specific traumatism that happened to him before, then young people that are playing around, coming in a special place to have fun, often adolescents with the raging hormones. And finally, guess what? The killer is killing them, generally one by one, with a lot of jump scares, screams, sometimes tortures, and blood all over the place. The end can vary, but generally you've got one survivor that is having a very bad time. Well, normal, no? When you see all your friends dying in the worst circumstances ever, it's normal that you end up to be sad, and maybe in an asylum. And then usually the survivor is used in the story of the sequels that are following the original movie. For Friday 13th movie franchise, we are talking about these movies: Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th Part 2, Friday the 13th Part 3, Friday the 13th The Final Chapter, Friday the 13th A New Beginning, Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives, Friday the 13th Part 7 The New Blood, Friday the 13th Part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell The Final Friday, he was also in Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and finally Friday the 13th 2009 version. Friday the 13th is an American horror franchise that comprises 12 slasher films, a television series, novels, comic books, video games, and tie-in merchandise. The franchise mainly focuses on the fictional character Jason Voorhees, who drowned as a boy at Camp Crystal Lake due to the negligence of the camp staff. Decades later, the lake is rumored to be cursed and is the setting for a series of mass murders. Jason is featured in all of the films as either the killer or the motivation for the killings. The original film, created to cash on the success of Halloween 1978, was written by Victor Miller and was produced and directed by Cunningham. The films have grossed over $468 million at the box office worldwide. It was the highest highest grossing horror franchise in the world until the release of Halloween 2018, putting the Halloween franchise in the top spot. Let's take the time to introduce Jason Voorhees' life. Jason Voorhees was born in the small town of Crystal Lake in 1946 to Elias Voorhees and Pamela Voorhees. He was premature and entered the world at midnight on a Friday the 13th. Jason was afflicted with severe facial deformities, hydrocephalus, an abnormally large head, and mental disabilities. Raising Jason on her own, Pamela kept her son isolated from the community, not letting him attend school and educating him in their home on the outskirts of Crystal Lake. Due to his mental deficiencies, his education was quite limited, but he learned never to question his mother. He obeyed all his mother's orders, grasping the concept that his life was going to be difficult, if not impossible, without her guidance. His extreme obedience for his mother would manifest itself in a strange way after puberty. Even after she died, Jason could imagine her talking to him from beyond grave. He wears a hockey mask, likes using a machete to do his work, is tough to kill, and is responsible for 161 of on-screen deaths. At first, he wore a sack with eye holes over his head to hide his ugliness. Later, he switched to a white hockey mask. His mother thought he drowned in Crystal Lake at age 11. Jason survived and became a hermit, living in the woods and feeding off plants, bugs, and animals. He grew to a large, deformed, and uneducated man who never said a word. Jason's mother blamed irresponsible counselors for her son's death. She had killed 2 counselors in 1958, and the camp was closed. In 1979, long after Jason's alleged death, someone tried to open the camp again. Jason watched as his mother killed the counselors one by one. Jason then saw one counselor behead his mother. The counselor took a canoe out into the lake. Jason came up behind and pulled her into the lake to drown her, but she survived. Later, Jason found her home and murdered her before returning to his shack in the woods surrounding Crystal Lake. Every time someone else tried to open the camp at Crystal Lake or wandered onto the land, Jason would slash, crush, impale, dismember, or decapitate the intruders. Jason had superhuman strength and was tough to destroy, despite shootings, stabbings, and axes to the head. He apparently died a number of times, but was brought back to life by a lightning bolt, by a girl with telekinetic powers, and by a submerged power cable. Okay, let's come back to the game now. Friday the 13th, the game, released in 2017, is a third-person horror survival game where players take on the role of a teen counselor or, for the first time ever, Jason Voorhees. You and 6 other people will have to do everything possible to escape and survive while the killer, Jason Voorhees, tracks you down and brutally slaughters you. This will strive to give every single player the tools to survive, escape, or even try to take down the killer. Each and every gameplay session are based on the mechanism from the slasher-like movies of Friday the 13th. The killer tries to kill counselors, and counselors try to survive and escape with different solutions implemented in the core loop of the game. We're talking about finding a fuse to repair a phone to call the police, repair a car or a boat, finding some objects like gas, batteries or keys to get out of here, or even killing Jason. We can say that there is something for every taste here. Meanwhile, Jason will be given an array of abilities to track, hunt and kill his prey. Stalk from the shadows, scare your targets and kill them when the time is right in as brutal as fashion as you can imagine or even more. So if you never did that before, you can take control of the legendary killer that is Jason Voorhees and kill them all. Even if you can play the game as a single player where you can unlock some cool stuff by achieving some great challenges, the funny part of the game, I would say, is by far the multiplayer mode. You connect to a lobby, wait for 8 players to be in, and then launch the game. One player will be automatically chosen as the killer. You can change your preferences saying you prefer to be a killer or a counselor or it doesn't matter to you. And the 7 other players are spawning as counselors. From the beginning, the biggest problem facing players is Friday the 13th lack of dedicated servers, coupled with the lack of host migration. So at the beginning, a player were chosen randomly to act as host. And if that player leaves during the match, say after being murdered by Jason in the opening minutes, everyone else was abruptly kicked out to the title screen. To temporarily fix the issue, they made Jason the host. Jason is the only character guaranteed to be alive and active for the entire match. He's also exponentially more fun to play as, so if you are lucky enough to be the chosen one, you likely won't give up the hunt until you're forced. It's not a perfect solution. Jason may have a slight advantage over players with laggy connection, but at least you won't have to worry that every kill Jason scores might bring the fun to a crashing halt. And then came the perfect solution just 1 year after the game was released: dedicated servers. Doing that, they literally killed the last issues I just talked about, and the game was a pure pleasure to play. And then came November 2020, and the big drama behind the scene: they closed the official servers. But why exactly? It didn't make any sense to me, so I tried to understand. One important thing to know about the game is that it started, I would say, not very well, with a big lawsuit. It was announced by publisher Gun Media in June 2018, so just 1 year only after the release, there would be no further Friday the 13th updates due to a lawsuit between Friday the 13th director Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller, the screenwriter of the original movie. The lawsuit is quite tangled, but in short, Miller sent a termination notice to the producers of Friday 13th, invoking a copyright provision that allows authors to reclaim ownership to material after a period of time. Actually, Miller wrote the screenplay for the original Friday the 13th, but was not involved with the franchise beyond that. US copyright law allows the original author of a work to take back their copyright 35 years after it was given. Miller tried to do this but was blocked by Cunningham, who argued that Miller was a work for hire and didn't have any legal claim to Friday the 13th under the rules of US copyright law. The two went to court, where a judge ruled in favor of Miller. Cunningham appealed the decision and the case went back to court in February of 2020. And well, it seems that no final decision has been taken as of today. Concretely, what it means? Well, it means that during all this suit, no new movies could have been made. For the game, no more updates too. Back in July of 2020, Gun Media's legal team announced that as a result of the litigation, they were unable to release new Friday the 13th content and confirmed no plans to renegotiate the license to create new content, regardless of how the film rights are ultimately settled. The title will continue to receive maintenance patches, but no new characters or content can be added. This is a real shame since Friday the 13th the game was doing an excellent job of adding fun updates, at least in the first year. But the lawsuit made that impossible. So that's it guys, that's why I am very sad today. And no worries, I'm pretty sure that some other game studios developers will do something great in the same asymmetric style. Thank you for watching, I appreciate that. Don't forget to follow the channel because I have a lot of very great stuff coming. And well, have a great day. Thank you. Bye bye.